this might actually be working. This is a test. So I actually just have my guitar here because we're going to do a bookkeeping podcast, but I'm curious if the system is picking up this guitar. We'll see after. Cool, man. All right. I have no idea what channels I'm live to, what worked, what didn't. Ideally, I'm going to be doing these live streams regularly on various channels so that I can help as many people as possible. My goal for this live stream is to help people become more profitable in their business and their personal life. I'm not going to do this by selling you anything. I'm going to do it by teaching you how. All of this is based in financial management. It's very simple. You have a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement for your life and your business. And I'm going to show you right now how to reconcile in QuickBooks. And maybe we'll talk about the higher level stuff later. But suffice it to say, if you track your expenses and your income and you reconcile your accounts in the way that I'm about to show you in QuickBooks, I'm going to use QuickBooks Ledger, which you can get for $10 a month. It's an unbelievable deal. You can generate all these reports. You can look at that on a regular basis, and it will help you save money, make more money, and become wealthier. The balance sheet, what assets, what is your total equity, okay? Anyways, I don't know if any of this is going to be working, so it looks like I have some kind of chat. Oh, looks like some bot. Let's get into it, shall we? No idea if this is going to work, but what I want to do is I want to show you this dummy company that I've created here in QuickBooks Online. And I have dummy data that I created. And I've already reconciled all this, but I'm going to unreconcile it. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in QuickBooks Online. So I reckon I should be able to pop over here to my other screen. Hopefully this is coming through. And I'm not going to go into what reconciliation is and all that stuff. Basically, again, this is a test. And if you know you need to reconcile, then this should help you. It's mainly for people who know they need it, but they have some questions about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to reconcile. And I'm going to unreconcile, for example, this Mercury checking account. And I'm going to go history by account. And I'm going to, oh, buddy, undo. Yeah, come on. I just saw it. Batch undo. That's what we want. Yep. Okay, good for you. Yep, go ahead. Yes, undo the batch. Yeah, I've told you that. All right, good stuff. Now, if we come back here. Cool. So we're looking at the register and nothing is reconciled. No R's by any of these items. Oh, we do have R's. That's interesting. Let's go back to reconcile and history by account. We should see it. We should see it. Flip this around again. We have all these reconciled transactions. Well, it should have. I guess there's not too many. There was a, maybe if I refresh. Interesting, interesting. We could unreconcile in the register, which is what we will do. No, we can't on the live stream because it'll take too long. That should have unreconciled all of us. That's okay. We have another option if this is not going to do what I want it to on this live stream. Let's go back to reconcile. And interesting. Report period. Maybe this is why. It's more than 365 days ago. I'm pretty sure that's what the issue is. So let's change this to all time, all dates. There we go. This is what we want. We'll unreconcile these guys. Batch undo. Yep. Undo the batch. Okay. and refresh this again. Okay, now if I go to our register, all right, cool. Everything is unreconciled. Good stuff. All right, let's reconcile. You know what? I might as well talk about what reconciliation is. If you're here, you might be a little bit confused. Reconciliation in bookkeeping and accounting is the process of comparing your source of truth documents, like your statements that are coming from the bank for your bank accounts, your credit cards, maybe loan statements, all that kind of stuff, comparing it to what is in your bookkeeping software, in this case, QuickBooks Online, and ensuring that there are no discrepancies. Because the source of truth documents, they're a constellation out there, right? And we're drawing all of that in here to QuickBooks. We're categorizing it and we're relating it to other transactions, etc. And that's great. It's all coming in, but we just need to make sure that when we're bringing things in, everything here in QuickBooks is correct and ultimately aligns to the constellation of accounts that you have out there, right? So this is that process, because really what if you don't reconcile, what you have here in QuickBooks land is like imaginary until you reconcile it and link it to source of truth documents. So we're going to do that for this Mercury checking account. Again, this is all dummy data. It's not real. I made it up. Okay. What are we going to do first? We're going to take a look at our statement. Now, in this particular case, this example company, let's say that it was begun in April of 2024. And there are two partners. Okay. It's a partnership LLC, and the owners are Elena and Daniel. So we may see some owner distribution or partner distributions, partner contributions, that kind of thing. All right, cool. So Mercury checking account, the first statement ending date should be April 30th, 2024, because the business began in April 2024. Maybe more importantly, they opened the business bank account, this one, in April of 2024. Typically, the bank accounts are going to have statement ending dates of the last day of the month. That's not true for credit cards, which oftentimes end in the middle of the month, but this is a checking account. So lots of talking here. Let's actually get to reconciling. What are we going to do? We need to bring up our statement. And you know what? I have it here. And I'm going to share my screen so that you can see it. Oh, buddy. Come on, Tommy boy, bring this up. Oh, there it is. And we have a Mercury statement of 430. That's right. And I need to share my screen. And we're going to click this. This is the first time I'm using this, and I'm loving this software. This is Streamlabs Ultra. Get you a subscription to use Talk Studio. All right, so I want to do share screen. I understand. I'm going to do window. I'm going to do this one right here. Cool. So you now see this statement. Again, a dummy statement. All right. None of this is real. And what I'm going to do is compare this statement to what we have in QuickBooks. So I'm going to flip back over here to QuickBooks. I know that the beginning balance is going to be 0 for this month of reconciliation because the bank account was opened in April. So we didn't have any initial cash in that bank account when it was, you know what, maybe a better way to put this is the bank account became a business asset in this month, because actually we could have opened this bank account in the past, but it only became an asset and was placed on the books in April of 2024. So at any rate, I'm just mentioning that because there could be money in it when we started these books. But in this case, truly the bank account was opened in April. So the beginning balance is going to be 0. Statement ending balance and statement ending date. Well, we know the statement ending date. That's going to be the last day of the month, April 30th, 25, 04/30/25. Hit tab. And statement ending balance. Let's take that from the statement. I'm coming back here. And, but you're not going to be able to see it. Here's the statement. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is take a look at that information. I see here beginning balance is 0. I see that the see, this is the wrong month. That's interesting. Somehow we opened the wrong month. Interesting. Maybe there was an overwrite. I think there was. Okay, I'm going to show you another interesting screen. I'm going to take you behind the scenes here. And what I'm going to do is here's my. I'm just going to show you how I cooked this dummy account. And if we come here and we go to share screen, yep, this one right here. There we go. Okay, so this is the dummy information that I made up. We're just going to export this because this says May. Well, what does this one say? That says May as well. Okay. Sorry, bear with me. This stuff needs to come in. And it's going to be all month long. Copy that. Paste it on here. Okay. In fact, these guys can come here. And these guys can get cleared. And these guys can come here. And that looks good to me. And this, of course, is going to be April 1st. This is going to be April 1st or April 31st. Okay, good stuff. What is this? This is going to be this plus this. Okay. And that looks like it actually fixed everything, didn't it? 914. And that would make this ending balance. It should come from, well, yeah, that's true. 614 feels more correct though. So we're going to do, this guy is the beginning balance plus this one. Oops, not that one. Come on, buddy. No. This right here. Okay, good. That looks correct to me. And I can verify that this is a little bit back and forth. So we'll just go ahead and export this. I'm not going to bother verifying it. Might just confuse people. We're going to export this guy, save as PDF, and that's all fine. And I want it to be desktop in here, other, and it's going to be this statement right here, 430 for the Mercury. Replace it. Okay. Groovy. Now then, if I close this and I come back to Streamlabs. Oh, y'all didn't see any of that, did you? Well, anyways, I updated the spreadsheet where the dummy data is coming from. Sorry. Let's load it up now. So I want to come here, open it, and it should be this one. And why does it still say? What happened? ARG. Technical difficulties here. Very strange. Sorry, bear with me for just 1 second. Oh, this is it. It's just that I didn't update the date. Okay, so ignore this date. This is April's statement, okay? April 1st to April 31st. This is the most important part, 614. All right, so our statement ending balance is 614. We're going to start reconciling. Okay, cool. Bing, bing, bing. All right, great. So what are we seeing on this screen here? I'm just going to go over this reconciliation tool. And make sure that you can see it. You probably can't. Show on screen. There we go. Okay. Reconciliation tool. Man, I need 2 screens. That's what I need for this whole deal. So we're here in the QuickBooks reconciliation tool. Now, your tool may look a little bit different because right now I'm using Ledger. QuickBooks Ledger is a $10 per month solution. And if you want to learn how to get Ledger, I actually have a masterclass that I'm going to release today, and that will show you how to get Ledger for $10 a month. It's a little bit tricky, but suffice it to say, yours might look a little different than this because you're on a different type of plan, but the whole process is the same and it's going to look super similar. And once you understand what I'm about to tell you, you're going to understand how to use every reconciliation tool across any platform. What are we doing here? What are the components? We are trying to identify any discrepancies between what we have noted in QuickBooks as legitimate transaction and what the statement says. So the statement says that we're reconciling the Mercury account. Oh, darn it. Didn't mean to click that. Okay. We're reconciling the Mercury account, and the statement beginning balance is 0, and the statement ending balance is this amount, and the statement ending date is right here. So this is all brought in. It's empirically measurable from the statement, right? Okay. All this other stuff is kind of like what's in QuickBooks. And what we want to do is we're telling QuickBooks, hey, we started here, we ended here by this date for this account. And QuickBooks is telling us, okay, well, what I have selected here is all these transactions that you've selected. That totals this cleared balance. And within this selection, within the check marks, we have 146 payments, which is basically withdrawals from the checking account. And we have 18 deposits amounting to this much. So, this plus this, from your beginning balance is this. So that's not what we want. We basically want, in this case, to get to 614. I know that what I'm describing is probably super confusing, but stick with me. It's going to become more clear. Okay. What I'm going to do first is just uncheck all of these. Okay. And now we get to 0. Also, I want to go ahead and hit this X right here. I see that I made a boo-boo. I said April 30th, 2025. It needs to be April 30th, 2024. That's what I meant to input from the statement, which typically, if possible, you would copy that from the statement. But in this case, I couldn't. And in fact, my statement, I needed to update the date. Anyways, if you put the wrong date in here or the wrong ending balance, you correct that by hitting Edit Info, and you can do it right here. So I'm just going to change that to 2024. And when I save this, we will see now that it has limited the amount of transactions. Oh, we need to hit Reset Statement Ending Date. Right now, it's showing all unreconciled transactions in the entire QuickBooks account, QuickBooks file. And we don't need to see everything. We just need to see those transactions that were booked within our statement ending period. So I'm going to do reset the filter to statement ending date. There we go. All right, cool. So we're seeing all of those transactions that have a date that are unreconciled right now, that are recorded up until our statement ending date that we told QuickBooks just now. All right, cool. So what do we see? We see other information here that I will explain. These are all transactions that have been recorded in QuickBooks. We see that some of them have green checks. We see that some of them have green boxes. The green check means that we, or QuickBooks as a default, has selected this transaction to be reconciled within this period. Basically, this check is saying that's a legitimate transaction. If it's not, I'm going to uncheck it. If it is, I'm going to check it. If I check it, then I'm going to include it in this month's reconciliation, this period's reconciliation that we're doing right now. Let me make sure that we're seeing this on the live stream, and it looks like we are. All right, cool. Come back to my deal. Can't I put this in the same window so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth? I think that'd be a good idea. I think it's working here. Okay. Show this. No. Oh, I see. Okay. Add it back. Bear with me, guys. Again, the first time I'm doing this one. And I want this. And there we go. Is this working? Show on live stream. Good stuff. Okay, cool. As I was saying, everything that is checked is we're basically telling QuickBooks, let's include this in the reconciliation because it is legitimate. In other words, we see it on the statement. So do we? Why are all these checked already? We haven't even referenced our statement yet. It's because of these green boxes. This data was brought into QuickBooks through an import of some kind. It could be connecting your bank feeds to QuickBooks, which is going to draw in the information automatically into QuickBooks. You want to do that. In this particular case, because I was doing a tutorial, this information, this data, was brought into QuickBooks through a bank data import. So QuickBooks is essentially saying, look, you brought this in, you brought all these transactions in through an import of some kind. It was a bank import or a bank feed, and therefore it must have cleared the bank because otherwise it couldn't have been included in your data set. How, we're not going to be able to draw information if it's a feed connection from your bank if the transaction never cleared the bank. So if it's cleared the bank, then it's going to be on your statement, and therefore it should be included in this reconciliation. That's why all of these cleared transactions are going to default to having reconciled checked. Okay. Now, there are some that are not checked. These were manually created. And in this case, this one says voided. I actually want to, just as a demonstration, show you what it would look like because I voided this as part of, an example or as part of my tutorial. But typically it would look like this. And by the way, this memo would not say voided. This looks like it got rid of it. Okay, that's good. Save and close. Yep. Yeah, typically it's going to look like this. Okay, so as we can see, we have payments and we have deposits, and these are on the register. They've been categorized already and recorded in QuickBooks Online. If we go to this register, we will see them all. If you were to click register right here, we would see all these on the register. They're affecting our reports. And these two were manually created. And I'm looking just right now and I see that there's a good chance that this is going to be a duplication. So it was pulled in once through the import and then it somehow got into QuickBooks in another way. Maybe someone else accidentally created it manually. Maybe there's someone else on your team, they got confused, who knows. We also have this one here that was created manually as well. But in fact, in this case, I'm going to delete this because this is a different type of example I want to show you. So I'm going to delete this one here. Okay, cool. So right now, we see that QuickBooks notes that, especially if I tick this one off, this is saying, hey, everything that we have recorded in QuickBooks and marked as legitimate, marked as let's reconcile it, that gives us a total, because what you're telling us is we've got $4,346 in payments marked. We've got $5,000 in deposits marked, but we told QuickBooks, hey, in this period, we're going from 0 to 614.01. But these guys here, they get us from 0 to 654, meaning there's a discrepancy. We're over by $39.99. And I know that this is negative, so it's a little bit confusing. But basically, this means we have to remove $39.99 from this cleared balance somehow, which means we either need to reduce our payments or we need to increase our deposits because we've got to. No, I think I said that backwards. We need to reduce our deposit amount or we need to increase our expenses amount or our payments amount, okay? In order that we marry up with this number here, okay? So The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for obvious duplications. And this is one right here. Uh, Now, you might in fact have two transactions within the same period that come from the same vendor and that are the same, but it's extremely unlikely that you're going to have it on the same date. And as you can see, the dates are very similar, but they're not exactly the same. And this can sometimes happen when we're waiting for a transaction to like clear the bank. So, for example, maybe someone realized we just paid for Notion. So they create an expense item here in QuickBooks, and then it clears the bank. So we have it duplicated and it was never matched together, which it should have been. So there's a couple ways to deal with this. One, you could just void this one, which is what we're going to do. Or you could match these and say, hey, this one that I created should be matched to this. The matching is the better way to do it. But because this tutorial is more about reconciliation, I'm just going to show you the quick and dirty way, which is to simply void this one. Okay. So we know that this is not a legitimate transaction. I'm going to, and by the way, let's look at the statement and just verify that. I'm going to flip over to the statement, and here we are in the statement. Hopefully you can see that. I believe you can. I'm scrolling down and looking for Notion. And here we go, April 9th. But we don't see another one for like April 10th, for example. There's no other Notion expense or item on this statement, which means that this one here, or one of these is not legit. And we're going to keep the one that came through the bank feed. We're going to uncheck this one. We're going to click on here and we're going to choose edit. And you could delete it, but what's better practice is to avoid it. And the reason is because it's going to keep the transaction here in the books, but it will make the amount go to zero. So it's not going to affect any balances. But if we realized later, oh, actually, that was a legitimate transaction, maybe it was coded to the wrong account, maybe it was coded to the wrong month, something like that. All we would need to do is update that data and change the amount back to what it needs to be instead of recreating the entire expense, which, by the way, results in a little bit of a messy audit log as well. So now that it's zero, I can include it because it's not going to affect any of our numbers up here. But by including it, if you don't include it, it's going to pop up on the next month's reconciliation, and it's just going to keep hanging out until you either delete it or include it in the reconciliation, okay? Okay, cool. So we see that we're still, we're still missing $49.99 in payments, or we're too high in our deposits by $49.99. Let's take a look at the statement again and see if we can figure out which one it is. So I'm going to come back over here and show you the statement. Okay. And now I'll go to the statement. Okay. And here I see two legit deposits amounting to $5,000. These are capital contributions by the owners. So our total deposits, $5,000, that one is correct. It's this one right here that we're going to be having the problem with. So our discrepancy lies in our withdrawals. QuickBooks calls it payments, basically money leaving the checking account. So do I see, that amount was $49.99. That could be multiple expenses that amount to $49.99, or it could be one single transaction for $49.99, and that's what we're going to be looking for first. And what do I see right here? I see this Brother Printer Inc. transaction for $49.99. I'm going to copy this if I can. Well, I'll just remember it, okay? April 12th, Brother Printer Inc., $49.99. Is this in QuickBooks? Let's take a look. Come back here. Come back to QuickBooks. And $49.99, I don't see anything. I've just clicked payment, the header so that I can sort by amount. I'm looking at my payments and I do not see $49.99, which means that transaction somehow didn't get in here to QuickBooks. Many reasons for why we don't see it here. Maybe it did get into QuickBooks, but it was never recorded. It was never categorized and added to the books. Maybe it was recorded, but then it was deleted. Maybe it was recorded to the wrong account. Maybe just for some reason it failed in the bank feed import or the bank data import. Maybe it was here correctly. Someone changed it to something. Maybe it has the wrong date. I mean, there's so many reasons we're not seeing it here, but suffice it to say, we need to add it to the register in this month so that we can include it in this month's reconciliation. And I'm not going to go do all the treasure hunting that I just described, because I already know, because I created this data, that transaction truly is not here. And in fact, if you remember, I deleted it, when we first started, to show you what's going to happen, what it's going to look like. And I also want to show you the process of actually creating a missing transaction, which we're going to do right now. So I'm going to come to new. I'm going to come to expense. Who did we pay? Brother. I already have them as a vendor. The payment account is going to be that Mercury checking account. Payment date, I think we said it was April 14th, maybe April 12th, 04/12/24. Payment method, I'm not going to bother adding the payment method, but you could, however you paid for this, you would add that here. If it's a debit card or a check or whatever it is. Reference number, again, I'm not going to bother adding it, but you might if you were doing pro bookkeeping for a client. Category, in this case, let's call it office supplies. Description, I would want to take it directly from the statement. I was trying to copy and paste from the statement, which is the best. In this case, I remember what it is. It's just Brother Printer Inc. And the amount was $49.99. I hit tab here, locks it into the total. And I could add some kind of memo if I wanted. Manually added dash didn't import from bank data import. I don't know. I'm just showing you that you can add a memo. You could add a receipt as well if you wanted. I'm going to save and close. Yes, transaction was honored before your company's closing date. I've already closed the books, and that's why I'm getting this. I'll say yes. And in fact, I want to show you, I'm going to open the books. I've closed them already, but in this case, I want to show you how to close the books. So I'll have to open them first. So no. There we go. The books are not closed at the moment. All righty. I'll talk about what closing the books means in a moment. But we see now that transaction that I just created is here waiting for us to include in this reconciliation. I know that it's on the statement. We already saw that, and I'm just going to check it off. And now we see green is good. So our reconciled, or the transactions marked to be reconciled in this period, that adds up to what we drew from the statement. So again, what are we saying here? We told QuickBooks that we started at 0 and we ended at this amount within this period. And it's for this account, this Mercury checking account. This was all taken from the statement. And now we've selected in QuickBooks here 14 payments and 3 deposits that take us to this cleared balance, right? And also that would be subtracted from the beginning balance. Uh-oh, do we have a... So that all makes sense. Basically, QuickBooks is saying, hey, what you told me getting from here to here, that jives with your payments and deposits and your cleared balance, right? Okay, cool. So now that this is, we've basically said, okay, all of this is on the statement. It's all legitimate. Oh, and by the way, I guess I should mention, if you were doing this super rigorously, what you would do is you would uncheck this. You would look at the statement, every single line item on the statement. You would verify that it exists on your statement, and you would check it off, right? You do it one by one. You'd probably be striking these off on the statement by highlighting them on the PDF, or if you printed the statement, you're highlighting them or striking them off with a pen or something like that so that you don't miss, so that if there are duplicates or transactions that you're not sure if they're duplicates, but the amount is the same, you don't get confused. Oh, did I already record that or not? You're striking them off from the statement as you check them off here. That way, anything that remains here is not on the statement. Anything that's on the statement that didn't get highlighted after you checked everything needs to come in here, right? Okay, cool. So at this point, we have no discrepancies between what we've marked as legitimate in QuickBooks and what is on the statement. So we can do finish now. I've reconciled this account. Fantastic. So I've also already reconciled the credit card, and those are the only two accounts that I need to reconcile. So this period is done. And by the way, with the credit card, you need to be cognizant that they don't end usually on the last day of the month. They'll probably end on the 15th. So you might need to reconcile, for example, the next month's credit card statement to ensure that we are completely reconciled all the way through what we're going to call as our bookkeeping period, which is April of 2024. Okay, cool. So now that we are fully reconciled on our accounts, let's close the books for this period. Now, there's a lot more that you would do when you close the books. There's actually a checklist that I will provide later. But for now, let's keep it simple and let's come to advanced. And when you close the books, it just ensures that no one else is going to be able to add some transaction to the books for that reconciled period or delete something or change something without either seeing a warning and having to click through the warning, or what's a lot better, you select allow changes after viewing a warning and entering a password. And if you're managing the books and you add that password, anyone else who tries to mess up your books will not be able to without knowing the password. In this case, I'm just going to choose a warning. So we can save that. Oops, we want to make sure that we add the period that we want to, or the closing date. So that's going to be April 30, 24, right? Because we've reconciled through that period. And we can save that. Cool. And now that we know that the books are correct, we can go take a look at our reports. And we come to standard reports here. And for this period, our books are going to be correct. Therefore, our reports are going to be correct. Let's take a look at the balance sheet first. And I'm going to choose that period. So we can just say, let's just say from the 1st of 2024, January 1st, 2024, until the month that we just reconciled, which is going to be 04/30/24. This balance sheet will be correct. Groovy. So we see that we've recorded our partner contributions and our partner distributions, and we have the correct amount in the bank account that aligns with the statement. The same would be true for credit card. In this case, we don't have any credit card transactions because in my example here, they opened the credit card in the next month of May 2024. So we don't have any credit card liabilities right now. Let's take a look at the net income and the profit and loss, which you can get to by clicking net income right here on the balance sheet. And we see that the business took a loss because we haven't received any income during this period, which is fine. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. And that's how you reconcile. Very basic overview of reconciliation. I know that there's going to be all kinds of issues that folks will run into while doing reconciliation. But with what I just provided, you should be able to begin understanding at a foundational level your reconciliation issue if you're having one. Maybe you'll have more vocabulary to frame the question. And if you need any further help, let's flip back to me at this point. Oops, hide that. Okay, cool. So if you have any questions about bookkeeping, if you need help, if you want to start doing your bookkeeping for your personal life or your business, you just reach out to me. I'm I'm the owner here at Bookkeeping Conroe. I'm actively taking more clients. For the record, bookkeeping pricing ranges, broad range, can be anywhere from $150 a month to $3,000 a month. But wherever you are, I will help you. And I will answer your questions. I will help you help yourself. If you look at these statements every single month, I'm sorry, if you look at your statements every month, yes, but maybe every day, and you wake up using QuickBooks phone app and you check your profit and loss and you're keeping track of all your financials and stuff, it's really going to help you. And you know what? I'm going to show in the next session how you help yourself with the taxation as well, because everything that we record, and it's a reconciled transaction in QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks has this incredible tool where you can track what your taxable income is going to be, and you can track, 1099s to contractors, all that stuff. So much to talk about. This was the first of these live streams. I don't know what it's going to look like on all the social platforms, but I'm kind of happy with how it looks right here. Let me know what you think. And I wish you a great day. I wish you the best in your business, blessings in your life, blessings in your business. Let me help you increase your profitability. That's my goal for you. That's how I want to lead you into a better future. Okay, guys. Love everybody. Have great days. Enjoy the holiday. Bye-bye.